Okay people, welcome back to another Fwoosh review. Tonight let's take a look at the Hasbro Marvel Legends Gamerverse Spider-Man. I will admit at first I wasn't too hot on this costume when the PlayStation game revealed their look. I figured I'd get the game, play as this version until you got the classic costume, and then change to classic costume or any of the other costumes and just play the rest of the game like that. Now I haven't finished the game yet, damn you Red Dead 2, but that's not what happened. I started playing in this costume, and as I played in it, and then I got the classic costume, I thought, nope, I'm sticking with this one because it fits in the storyline. This is this Spider-Man's universe. So I learned to love it pretty quick. That's why I grabbed the figure. Looking at the package, it's got that nice contrasting color from the standard Marvel Legends line like the Venom line had. The white packaging, it just stands out. In the back, you see the Spider-Man logo for this game. You see all the figure, you see the webs, you see the extra hands. Now I ordered this off the website. I didn't get to see this in person when I bought it. I'm a little bit worried about that elbow right there. It's kind of twisted, it's kind of bent. See how that looks like when I get it out of the package. On the side, a picture of Spider-Man from the game, and you can already tell all these seams and textures and all that missing from the figure, but we'll take a look at that once we get it out. On the back, more pictures from the game. Usually we have pictures of the prototype in some, Hasbro'd, photoshopped pretty look. They didn't even do that. They put game pictures on there. No other figures in this series, so there's nothing down here except warnings and unreadables. Probably says something like, hey, don't worry about the texture. On the other side, Spider-Man again. Top, pretty blank. I would have figured they would have put a spider logo or something there, but packaging. I'm tossing this anyway. I'm gonna get this open, see what this is like. And that's weird. They changed the packaging up a little bit. The tray has the cover on it. There's no actual window in the box. It's not a huge deal or anything. In fact, it doesn't really matter since this is going out. I just thought I'd point that out. What kind of casket? He's got a plastic casket. Plasket. No, that doesn't work. Stupid. And there we go. All out of the package. And a lot to love here. A lot to hate. I hate to say that. I know those are strong terms, but that's what I'm throwing out there. First of all, even with the lack of sculpted edges and raised parts and seams and everything, I still like this design, even though it's flat on this figure. This is like a comic version of the video game costume. I like that the white was explained in the game as being a contrast, and psychologists say that it dulls reactions from enemies or something like that. It had purpose. They actually thought about why they stuck this white spider here and the white edges all the way over. Other than the white parts, this is just basically a redesigned classic costume. And it works well on a Marvel Legends body. We've seen it time and time again. This is no exception. This reuses the body from the latest Scarlet Spider and Bullseye, and then several times before that, I think it was Sunfire, and then 2000. I'm not going to go through them all, because as soon as I say something wrong, oh. And I like it for a seasoned Spider-Man, which is what it calls it on the back of the package right there. He's an older Peter. He's more experienced. His body goes through changes. And up at the head, they are reusing the Spider UK head that came on a larger body for Spider-Man. I'm not sure if that's used anywhere else, but it works pretty good here. As far as paint goes, there are some misses, which is standard fare for Marvel Legends Spider-Man at this point. You can kind of see the web skip over itself right there. Some of the white kind of misses in places, and that's along with the black line. The red is on the bottom side of the black line right there. The red is above the black line right there. At first when I saw that, I thought, oh, were they mimicking a seam line or something? But then, no, it's just a missed tampo at the factory. But that gets me to my biggest gripe. With a game this big and popular as it came out, I feel like, I know this was exclusive to GameStop. With exclusives, they usually just go for repaints. But man, I would have loved to seen the texture on the blue parts. There's supposed to be texture in the white of the eyes. The white logo and the parts are supposed to be raised. These are supposed to be seam lines in between the blue and the red right here. I like this, but it could have been so much more. And looking at the elbow out of the package, it does kick over to the side a little bit. I'll have to take some heat, straighten that out. And it does kind of wobble inside the bicep. Whereas on this side, nice and tight, no wobble. Going over articulation, there is a ball on top of a hinge at the top of the neck. And with that, Spidey can bury his chin in his chest. It does lock up on me sometimes whenever I try to come back up right there. But you just shove the head back, and then he looks pretty much all the way up. Not a lot of tilt, and you know me and tilt. I kind of miss it right there. Swivel, butterfly joint in the shoulder, it goes way, way back. And then if you position the arm just right, it goes way, way forward. Inside that is a hinge and swivel. The arm can go up that far. Swivels around. Double elbow, but not a lot of clearance at the biceps, so it only comes up to about right there. I say only, it comes up past 90, so it's not too bad. Hinge in the torso, he crunches forward pretty nicely. Arcs back, swivel at the waist, ball coming out to the hip, leg can go up that far, back, out about there. Ooh, Hasbro, we're gonna have a talk, son. Swivel at the thigh, double knee, there he is, kicking his own ass. Swivel at the shin. Not my favorite point of articulation. As I was posing into Spidey poses, it was always moving itself around and it just looks terrible. But I realize why they put it there, for the extra articulation, and if they want to put a boot on this body at some point, it's easy enough just to put it at that swivel joint. Hinge at the ankle goes back, goes forward, and then forward facing pin for some rocker. For accessories, Spidey comes with 2 fists, he comes with 2 thwip hands, and that's it as far as hands. Every Spider-Man at this point should get the wall crawling hands, where they're splayed out. Looks like he's crawling up wall crawling hands. You know what I'm talking about. Fists, thwip hands, wall crawling hands. Every Spider-Man. As is, these are easy enough to pop out. You switch them. You put this one. You don't put the left on the right arm. You put the right hand on the right arm. That works so much better. The figure also comes with 2 web lines. Each one has a triangle at one end and kind of a curly pigtail at the other. One is fairly straight. The other has more of a curve into it. And the best I can figure, you put the triangle around the thwip hand, and then you can kind of simulate it thwipping. This does hook. You can hang. It's not terrible. It's not the best option, but at least it's something. It's not wall crawling hands, but you know. Oh, wall crawling hands and a hole in the back for the stand. That'd be cool too. I know some people don't like the hole, but it makes stands so much easier if the figure came with a stand. That's so we could use other stands. How's that? For comparison, here he is with the Marvel Legends Black Panther. It's that, you know, body they've used for a lot of characters. Spider-Man, even though this body for a Spider-Man is a little bit thicker than the rest, still fits in perfectly fine. Because here he is with the Spider-Man that he shares the body with, the Scarlet Spider, Spider UK head that this new figure uses, and then here it is compared with this Pizza Spider-Man. I think this is the Raft Spider-Man, same body though, different head. And then as always, here he is with Gus. I think Octavius was right. Looking at your costume, I do feel my reflexes kind of dulling. Has nothing to do with the alcohol. So at the end of the day, I enjoy the PlayStation Spider-Man game. I am super happy to have an action figure that represents that look. But seriously, looking at it, I think more about what could be. I doubt any import company is going to come along. Well, I can't say doubt. You never know what they're going to do. But a Mafex version or an SH Figure Arts version of this costume, ooh, mwah, that would be delicious. But it would also be $60, $70. This is a $20 action figure. Yes, I realize we get the movie characters, all new sculpts, for $20, $25 all the time. But like I said, this is exclusive to GameStop. Exclusives 90-something% of the time is just repaints with maybe a new head, a new part here and there. Unless you're Namor. You know what? I'm sitting here making excuses. This is Spider-Man. This is the PlayStation Spider-Man. They made $100 gazillion on this game. A little bit more effort should have been put into the figure. And that's not me getting rowdy. I'm just saying, it's Spider-Man. It's the flagship character. Maybe they're saving it for something else. Maybe they're saving it for the next game that hopefully uses this. No. The next game will use a different costume because they have to sell different toys by then. Part of me is super happy with this. It's definitely going on the shelf. It'll go in with all my other Spider-Verse variants. But the other part of me is kind of disappointed, kind of let down. I got nothing against it, but at the same time, it just seems a little lackluster. And before anybody says I was all negative and hate the figure and shit, if you don't like it, why'd you buy it? He's not even a fan of the game or toys. That's your right. Go ahead and comment it. But you know better. I like the figure. I just wish it was more. So if you like the review, comment, like, subscribe, and I'll catch you on the Fwoosh.